And oh my gosh, we are live. That was so simple. And I got to tell you, from March to November, my mastery in going live on social media has improved exponentially. So thank you for your patience. I still have to work on my laundry skills, which is my time blocking skills. And I promise that I will get up to snuff in that. So I want to say thank you. Thank you for coming, whether you're watching live or on the replay. If you're watching, I ask that you drop a like, a comment to show us you're here with us, meaning like if you're watching on social media, because if you're on Zoom, I can see you. And who are we and why are we here? Well, my name is Erica Rosiegel, and I am your grateful realtor, and I have the honor and the privilege of helping people with all of their real estate needs anywhere in the US or Canada and creating a home sweet home. And I am here with, go for it, Jasmine.
I'm Jasmine Yan. I am your super savvy shopper here, and we are here because it's Celebrate Your Success Sundays, where we have fun alternating and sharing ideas, strategies, techniques, and all kinds of information about how to watch your wallet with two of everyone's favorite topics, which are shopping and real estate.
Awesome. And in case you didn't see it in the chat, I'm just going to say it once more live, or if you're watching this on social, because I know you are, including our new YouTube channel. Feel free to introduce yourself. Tell us your name, the industry you're in, the best way to contact you, and who would you like to meet, and what would you like to hear more of? And seriously, thank you for being here. And if you have a question, a comment, you need clarification, don't be shy. You can write us publicly, privately. You can even schedule a consultation for you or someone in your household or business. You can even gift this to someone you care about, because Jasmine, she's been teaching for 18 years in the New York City Department of Education and has been a personal shopping consultant for 5 years. She's fantastic. And I've taught in the classroom for 3 years. And I've been educating people about the real estate market for over 13 years. And we are both passionate about helping people on all fronts. So without further ado, we're going to get right into the interview, Jasmine. And I know that last time you and I were together and we were talking about you were sharing. You shared some amazing tips and ideas about how people should take care of themselves personally and emotionally, either because they just got out of some domestic violence relationship or because maybe they're just stressed with their everyday lives. And I know you really care about self-care, and it's a topic that's so prevalent today. And a lot of people just need to be reminded of this. And if you didn't notice, by the way, we were a little hesitant about writing it, but we called this, what is it, like the presidential edition or something like that?
Yes.
We were laughing about this morning, or this afternoon, excuse me, about 12 minutes ago, about adding the presidential edition or the president special. But it's true, this has been an area of stress for a lot of us, whether you're in New York or not, or the States or not, it's been stress. So we called this the presidential edition. We're not talking about politics, okay? But we're just dealing with some of the emotions related to it. So Jasmine, tell us what's going on.
Well, obviously we started this show, this episode, right, because of domestic violence individuals and what they go through after the aftermath of dealing with, the breakup of a relationship and dealing with like making sure they're taking care of themselves because they were so used to not taking care of themselves. But, besides the fact that domestic violence individuals go through these things, everyday people like you and I go through it as well. Right now, especially during this pandemic, a lot of people are stressed. I think it's probably like 150% of everyone is so stressed. And that's a big thing because stress, we know, kills. And stress affects people in different ways and it manifests itself. So it's really important that we as individuals take care of ourselves because we're all facing trauma one way or the other. Like I said, we're overworked, overstressed, overtired. We just can't keep up with the amount of stress that we're dealing with. So, I always bring it back to we only have one life to live. And if we don't take care of ourselves, then we won't be on this earth long enough to take care of the many people that we love in our lifetime, right?
Yeah.
So that's why I felt like these episodes were really important, a really important topic that everyone on here and everyone out there in the world today really needs a reminder and really needs to think about self-care constantly.
Yeah, we do. And hence why I was looking at 2 loads of laundry and thinking I'm going into a Monday with dirty clothes. So that's why I ran to the laundry room, remembering I'm doing self-care. I was like, let me take care of that. Just didn't do right time blocking. So, and I definitely agree that we're overworked. A lot of people, right? And I ask, if you're overworked or you're overstressed or overtired or truly dealing with a relationship or a significant other, um, feel free, if you or someone you know, put a comment in the chat. You can just be like, yes, trauma, yes, stress. And that doesn't necessarily mean it's you. It could be you or someone else. And you know, with these different dynamics of toxic relationships with a significant other or with work or just family or whoever, a conversation. And before we begin about the strategies and techniques, can you remind us of what the definition, Jasmine, is of self-care? And what are some types of self-care, you know, people should be aware of?
Yeah, I definitely can do that. And I definitely think that people really need to think about the definition, right? So, self care is defined by any intentional act of meeting one's emotional, physical, mental, and or spiritual needs. And we need to remember that self-care is not selfish. I think a lot of people think that if they're taking care of themselves that they're being selfish about it, but in reality, like, I always equate it to like airplane flight attendants, right? They always say, if I before you put on the mask to get air, if you before you put on someone else's mask, you need to put on your own mask first. So that's how you have to remember it as, right? And there are various types of self-care, and I think a lot of people don't realize how many there are, right? There's physical self-care, which is what you do for your body to keep it healthy or how it make you feel good, right? Emotional self-care. What would you do for your feelings or your mental state? Social self-care. What you do for the relationships with family and friends in your life. Personal self-care. What do you do for you? Spiritual self-care. What do you do to keep yourself calm and relaxed, right? And be zen, right? Financial self-care. What do you do for your money? How you're saving, right? How you're living your life, making sure you have enough money to do that. And work. What do you do for yourself when you're working? And I think that this is the biggest thing that people don't realize, right? Work is over an abundance. It's consuming, especially if you're working remotely, right? So all of these types can coincide with other types. The strategies and techniques I'll be talking about tonight can possibly go into one category or multiple ones, or, they might be interchangeable. But just keep that in mind, that it's okay and that we can use multiple strategies for multiple self-care. So if you can relate to what I'm talking about, please put a heart, a 100, yes, or truth in our chat, or as a comment on our live Facebook or on the replay, so that we know you're with us and you can definitely relate to what we're talking about today.
Well, yeah, I can relate, and I'm talking, so I'll put my heart later. And there's definitely, you brought up quite a few types of self-care, excuse me. And since I know we don't have a ton of time right here, and people can meet with you privately and potentially other people in this chat who can support in that. I know we have a couple of people here that could help with that. I would like to know, which types are you going to be talking about today? And what are some strategies and techniques that people can do to make sure they take care of themselves? Like,
Yeah.
what do you do?
Oh, that's a good question. But before I even discuss that, I just want to remind people that we all need a self-care plan. Every day you need to make sure you have a plan set in place, because if you plan it, then it'll get done, right? So first, you have to know who you are first, right? I think it's important to know the type of person you are. You need to think about your likes, your dislikes. You also need to think about if you're extroverted or introverted. I think those are big aspects that people need to take into account for self-care, and I'll go into a little bit more about that. But the two main ones that I want to talk about this week is work, how you can like take care of yourself at the workplace and within your social circles, which means your family and friends. um I think people don't realize that a lot of people complain, I guarantee that every single one of us at one point in our life has complained about something, especially about work. You
Mm,
know, so if you're in a toxic relationship with your boss or a coworker, you know, or anything that you feel negative in regards to your work environment, like I said, reminder, please put a heart, 100, yes, truth in our chat or on our comments so that we know you're listening and you're with us and you definitely are here to relate to what's going on in our everyday lives, right? So some tips that I think people really need to think about is time management is really important. And I'm going to go in a little bit into depth and with what I do, but time management, having breaks, work boundaries and time blocking are really key. Like when your work day, if you plan your work day and you say, like for me as a special education teacher, I work until 2:50 p.m. I give myself a little extra time. I say at 4 o'clock, I'm shutting my computer down and I am focusing on the other aspects of my life. You know, that's really important. People aren't doing that. People, especially individuals who are working remotely, are working until all hours of the night because
mhm.
it's convenient. We're there, we're the computer's in front of us. It's easy to check our emails, check, you know, plan a lesson, and we forget about the personal things we need to get done, you know. Try not to take, if you are going into work, I'm a firm believer, try not to take work home with you. Home is
Mm.
home and work is work. Home is for you to relax, to, you know, unwind, to be comfortable, to enjoy your life with your family and your friends, not for you to work. And people don't do that. When I'm at work, I, like I say, stay until 4:30 and then I'm out, I'm done. You know, taking a few seconds to minutes to just be. This is what I mean by breaks. I know all of us, especially, you know, people who have a great work ethic are working constantly, constantly, constantly. They don't have time to eat. They don't have time to drink. They probably don't even have time to use the bathroom, you know, which is really sad. As teachers, that's what happens. We're not allowed to use the bath. It sounds sad, but it happens, right? You need that time. You need it because other things happen to you if you don't have that, you know? Um, Set work boundaries. I know, especially for coworkers, there might be people in your life that are negative within work. Make sure you set those boundaries. If you don't need to be around them, don't be around them or keep it to a minimum. Or just say, you know, I've had this conversation with multiple people. Hey, we spoke about work for the past hour. Why don't we take a break and speak about our everyday lives for 30 minutes? You know, I want to know what's going on in your life, you know, versus your work life. Um, you know, letting your boss or coworkers know what you can or you can't do. If something is overwhelming and saying to your work, you know, your coworker or your boss, like, hey, I can't do that in the time allotted. It's going to be too much. I know it's a difficult thing, but sometimes it's important to say, you know, I need a couple of extra hours. Maybe
Mm,
give me an extra day or
mm,
two, you know, because there's too much going on and I won't have enough time to do it. Right. Um, you know, meditating. I know Eric and I talk about this all the time. It's so important to meditate, making sure that mentally your frame of mind is key and it's working properly because how are you going to help people if your mind is all over the place, right? Make a list of the three top things you need to do. Get it done for a day. Make a schedule. Planners. I live by my planner and I love my quote. You see that? I love it because I write things down and I know I'm gonna get it done. I check it off and it helps. You know, sometimes we're forgetful because we're thinking about too many things in our mind about work, about family, about this, about what, you know, shopping, laundry. You know, making that list, checking it off always makes me feel good. And you know what? You can get these planners at Staples, at Walmart, you know, like they're really cheap at this point. Because people don't usually use like paper and pen, even though I like that. But some people use their, you know, their phone, and that's fine as well. But just make a list. Um, you know, taking supplements. I know I don't know if a lot of people know, but activated B complex, any kind of B, this is the one I take. B complex helps you lessen stress. So if you are stressed, taking a B complex for a vitamin is going to help, right? I also take something, it's called cannabiquin. It has CBD in it. Right now, CBD is really popular. It helps you to relax as well. So I know I take this religiously. There's like nothing in there, like a couple pills because I take it often.
Mhm.
It helps. And getting massages. I know Olivia, one of my great friends here, I went away with her this weekend talking about self-care. We went to the Hamptons. Our whole point was to get massages because really massage helps get rid of toxins, helps get rid of your stress. You feel relaxed, you feel at ease, it rejuvenates you. You can get those kinds of, if you're looking for a cheaper massage, you can get that on like raise.com, spa finder, you can get it on Groupon. They have so many like massage places that you can really unwind, right? Just vegging out, and you know what I think is key is asking for help.
Mm.
People aren't asking for help, and we all need help. We try to be professional. We try to look at Fiona. She wants help too. Um, but we try to be helpful to people, and you know what? We need to ask for help as well.
Ladybug.
That's pretty much what I would say in the workforce. But socially, I think this is really big. Right now, especially during this pandemic. Socially, if you were feeling lonely, depressed, or are having some issues with your family, your friends, or a significant other, please put a heart, 100, yes, truth in our chat, or as a comment, because it's going to let us know that you're hearing what we're saying, right? Some of the tips that I would say is have a support system. you know, Go to your support system for positivity. Social media, like even social media right now, we were talking about the presidential election. It was really wreaking havoc in regards to the way, we weren't sure what was happening. It was really close. You know, that's important too, making sure that you're in contact with people. I would also say, communicating with family, friends. You don't know who needs you, what they need. Just a quick hello helps as well. Boundaries. Sometimes if you're having, you might have family and friends that, are not as positive for you. So if they're not, then you need to make sure, you have those boundaries with them, right? What I like to do, for me, I'm an extrovert. I need people. During this pandemic, it was very rough for me to stay at home 24 hours a day by myself. I needed people. I craved it. So for an extrovert like me, if you are one like me, hanging out with family and friends, but being safe. I always go, like, I like to do different things. A lot of my friends know, I like to go bowling. I like to go skydiving. I like to go axe throwing. I can get all those things on Groupon, Living Social for cheap. So I like to go to those events. Going to dinners. I know, like, Eric over here is a shop local guru. He's always talking about like the best deals that you can earn cash back or earn money for going to the restaurants that you would normally eat at anyway, right? Going to events, going to museums, talking to people, texting friends you haven't spoken to in a while, Zooming. Like right now, we're all Zooming, and that's important, right? Just seeing people and being in touch and close contact with them, right? Um, FaceTiming family and friends. Surround yourself with people that make you laugh. I know every single individual that's on this Zoom right now that I know personally, I've laughed with and I've had fun with. And I think that's really key, that people need to remind themselves we need to do that even during this pandemic. As long as you're safe, you can do it, right? Um, and like just helping people. If one thing I know Lindsay and I have done, because we're both in a sorority, is community service. There are so many people out there that need support and need help. So why not help and give back to our society, right? And you know what? If you are having problems with toxic individuals, either family members, friends, or in romantic relationships, I think you really need to think about, like, the relationship. Is it important to you? Is it worth your time and your effort and your energy? And if it is, making sure that they know the boundary that you're setting forth, right? That's really key, because some people just don't know, you know? So, if you're listening to me and you're listening to all the tips I'm saying, if you learned something today, learn one thing at least to do for yourself to be more social or to set boundaries, please put it in the chat or comment. Because realistically speaking, we want to do as much as we can to help our community. And you know what? Those are my tips and my ideas, but doesn't mean it's going to relate to every single person. But one of you out there might have a tip that can relate to someone and can help someone. So why not share it with us, right? So in general, I would say those are my tips for tonight in regards to our work environment and our social circles.
Well, Jasmine, like honestly, I'm gonna tell you, like you literally like have like prepared like you're doing this presentation and in front of like all the tips, all the ideas. She was like wanting to squeeze so much value in such a short time. So thank God this is recorded so you can go back if you miss something. And I'm grateful, like really grateful about what she has given us. And what's so, I mean, even the boundaries, the tough, like I need a break. She said to me, I need a minute. Hold on, wait. And doing these shows on Sunday night is one of my favorite times because I get to just prepare and at least show up for myself once a week. There'll be days I don't shower for 2 days. And I would like to know for the people here, and I'm sorry guys, I do sell real estate. So if I do walk in your house, I will shower before, just so we were clear. But I'd like to know, because you gave so much valuable information for the people who are here right now. What have been either your biggest takeaways or anything you want to add? I want to open it up to the community because you're here and I want to give you a voice to say what you need to say. And so, Peter, it's your first time being with us. Is there something you want to add? What do you see that maybe you didn't know before, or potentially maybe you knew but reminded, and how can we continue to contribute?
Hey, first of all, I think you're doing a great job, and you know that, so well done. Number one. Number two, Jasmine, your energy is fantastic.
Thank you.
Number three, I've been through some tough times in my life, and for me, I guess I have a different frame on this, and I find it hard to connect with it. And so I'm glad there's people like you that are connecting with it, because I know that people need it. But to me, so much of this falls under, honestly, kind of rich white man problemville for me. Yes, we are in lockdown. Yes, things are tougher, but my family are healthy. I'm healthy. There's a roof over my head. I have food on my table. We have the ability to connect with people. Jasmine, I'd have never met you if it wasn't for this medium, and this would never have come about if it wasn't for what we're going through. So there are blessings in this, and obviously there's some huge hardships for people, and I don't want to not acknowledge that, but at the same time, there's also, we've also finished your election, which I know that sounds a bit weird coming from me, but it's, the whole world has kind of been sitting waiting, and perhaps now we can start healing a bit on that, which is great. The only tip I've got is I've got a couple of really toxic relatives and toxic friends that I choose not to walk away from. So with them, I never answer their call. I always schedule time with them instead. And I use the 10 minutes before to put myself in exactly the mindset. How do I serve this person right now?
It's those boundaries.
Yeah, like they'll sit and go da 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 da. And the first time it happened, I went, "My kids are fine, by the way." And they're like, "Yeah. So anyway, what should I do about this?" I'm like, "Seriously? Like you're like 8 minutes into the conversation, you haven't even asked how my wife and kids are. Like this is crazy because you're just talking about job stuff." And that didn't serve anybody. So the next time into that conversation, I'm just like, yeah, no, really? Oh no, that's terrible. Well, how about this? How about that? So yeah, I think even if you can't find the boundaries naturally, literally just walk in like, what would the actor in this play do now? And I find that to be a really useful frame of reference in any situation where I'm not totally comfortable, to just say, what would an actor do if I was to write the screenplay? What would the actor or actress say in this situation? So yeah, that would be mine. But apart from anything else, I just think you're doing great stuff. Erica, please keep it doing. Jasmine, some great advice. So yeah, well done, guys.
Thank you. Thank you. And I love that we're offering, like, I love that you guys are here because you know, we're learning from you. We don't know necessarily, there's blind spots. I only know what pain I've been in and what I've learned, and Jasmine knows what she's learned. And then there's a constant reminder of each other, but then I know each other separately. And Peter, if you want to drop your event that you do on Thursdays, that Zoom link, you want to put that in the chat, because if anyone is creating opportunities to expand their social presence and manage their whole, he's got like magic on tap, I think is what it's called. Am I right? Right. And so, but it's through the web, right? And then we've got a separate, like, magical human, Eric Fung over here, which if you want to check out our YouTube channel, you can see Eric has literally in the past 3 days put that together, helped pull everything off my Facebook and Jasmine's Facebook, put everything onto our YouTube, and literally from coaching from Peter, I took your coaching, Peter, and I'm like literally implementing until I'm in a financial position to hire you. Like, and that will be a thing, right? So he gives you free coaching on Thursdays from 5 to 6 Eastern Standard Time. If you want to do anything social, and not just, I'm not talking friendly, I'm talking like social media and like getting your presence. And he's trained by Tony Robbins, an extraordinary human, boatloads of training, and I just thank you for the gifts you are giving us and the community that we're serving. Tiffany, and it, guys, if you don't know, because you might have read this on the invite, my goal, and you said something important about the actor and who would you be acting in this position, what character would you be playing? So I want to be on TV, and so I'm practicing on Zoom, and I want to be on TV because Fiona, you can get there too, okay, baby doll? Thank you. She's happy, see the tail? So, but I want to be on TV, and I want it because I have a goal, a commitment to save 1 million people, 1 million lives, sell 1 million homes. So at a minimum of 1 million homes that have been plagued by domestic violence in my lifetime will be saved. Those relationships those homes will be at peace again, one way or another, because of my and our involvement. So I just want to check in with a few other folks. And just, Tiffany, is there something, it's your first time here, anything you want to add or say or contribute? And I hope your info's in the chat as well. And scroll up, guys, if you haven't grabbed hers yet.
Yeah, I'm happy to share. So for the last 8 years, I've been considered a self-care specialist. I'm a medical sociologist and a holistic practitioner. But what really drives me is making sure that people are included. And the topic of self-care supports this idea of inclusion. And inclusion for me also means including you in the process, which I've struggled with and people have pointed out to me. So I'm trying really hard over the holiday season. We are completely overwhelmed by so many different factors. And I'm trying to come up with as many strategies and processes and tools to help people be able to, what I'm kind of trying to create conceptually as celebrating separately but together, and making self-care simpler in that process. Everything from linking up with Erica to try to figure out how we can do Thanksgiving Day together if you happen to be alone, needing a friend, wanting to find a friend and have it as a Friendsgiving because maybe your family is not safe, or maybe you can't physically be there in person with family members because of COVID. And maybe it's safer for you to choose not to be there with certain family members, which is super hard. So taking my sociology background, I'm really trying to figure out, okay, how can we create the social situations, reduce the stress of these hard conversations, reduce the stress of how do you even cook now when you're used to cooking for 10 people and now you're cooking for 2? What in the world do you do? So trying to take down as much of that anxiety. So anyone here that has ideas on, excuse me, my oven is beeping.
real, it is actually the topic. Real raw, real truth, real stories. You're actually really living, right?
Yes,
so great
for
job,
sure.
Tiffany, and her information is in the chat. And if anyone, I'm actually creating this. Tiffany had an idea. I'm co-creating some stuff as well, and we'll be what we call merging ecosystems together, because there are people that are either alone for Thanksgiving or what they were used to, the whole family dynamics and being away for 3, 4, 5 days. They're not having that. Or maybe they actually need to get away from their family. They might actually need that. So if you want to like go and be somewhere but not be alone, you can be on Zoom, or potentially there might be a way for you to do something outside and be with people and it still be thankful. And your grateful realtor is here to serve. And Fiona as well. That's the cat.
I would offer you a strategy straight from the playbook of Tony Robbins, if you want.
Sure thing. Fiona's all ears.
Yeah, I think that we always forget this, and I forget this, and I know so many people that forget state, story, strategy, and not the other way around. Right? If you're feeling down, or you're feeling pissed, or you're feeling lonely, or you're feeling frustrated, or you're feeling sad, they're your stories. Your state is: have you had some broccoli? Have you drunk some water? Have you had some sleep? Have you done some exercise? Right? Yep. And so many people start with, how am I going to fix this? That's your strategy. The fact that you have something in quotes to fix, that's your story. And almost every single time, if you start with, have I had enough vegetables? Have I had some decent sleep? Have I drunk some water? And have I had 30 minutes of exercise? Everything starts getting so much simpler. And it's so easy in these times to forget to eat properly, to say, oh, I can't exercise because I can't go to the gym. Yeah, really, you can't do a press up or a chin up or a sit up in your own house. You can. You see the videos of people that come out of jail cells absolutely ripped, and they were in a 6 foot by 4 foot box for 5 years. So I would just say to everybody, just try that once if you're in that situation, and literally any negative thought, default back to sleep, water, nutrition, and hydration. Well, sleep, nutrition, like, you get what I mean.
And those are all the essential basic needs that everyone needs, right?
Yeah.
There's something also.
Yeah. Thank you, Peter.
Oh, wait. Yeah, John wanted to contribute, and I just wanted to add something, and I'm going to go right to John, if that's okay. Okay, so just hold on 1 second. Yeah, because I wanted to say, based on, so Jasmine being the shopping consultant, because a lot of times when we're under pressure, we don't actually, she's not like, I mean, yes, she can help me do my nails. They look good, right? But that's not, I don't even wear makeup. I got this ring light and Jasmine told me what to do. And this is my makeup. If I go on a date, I just bring the ring light. I look great, And, but she, I'm really just kidding. But she can put a lot of the stress comes from financial, or just not taking care of the broccoli, the bedtime, the meditation, like the things that the self-care, like, washing your face, removing the makeup, maybe a faster way, something to get to bed faster, like not a drug per se, but like a supplement, I think is what they're called.
Yeah.
Or just a more comfortable pillow or a book or this. So many of us shop on specific websites, not realizing that if you go to the website that Jasmine has, which she can drop in the chat if you'd like. I think you have that handy, right, Jasmine?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So if she puts that, and then I would suggest that you connect with her, schedule like a quick consultation about how to use it, because everything you're buying right now, you're throwing money away on. I guarantee you. Almost everything that you want to buy is on the website that she has access to. And if not, you can get it there and you can earn money and you can save money by doing the everyday expenses. And then that extra money, you can put it on self-care. You're like, I don't have money to do my nails. Well, if you save money on food shopping or renovating your house, or like, feeding your cat or a piece of furniture or whatever, and then you save that cash back, and then you buy a massage, you do a facial, you like buy a book for yourself, you go on vacation, everything. I mean, airline tickets, you name it. And I just wanted to make sure that that's really present to you guys, because it's so important for you to take a beat when you're making your purchases and not just impulse buy, but also if you're going to impulse buy, at least give yourself the gift of getting cash back to put your mind at ease and, put some money in your pocket. So I wanted to put that out there. So it's like really clear that she can do that for you. And she's got a plan. She's not just like, here's my website and, good luck. I want, John, you had something you wanted to add, and I would love to hear from you, and I apologize.
No problem, that's fine. In regards to creating a mindfulness lifestyle, one of the things that's easily overlooked is the simple act of writing, journaling, putting things down on paper. The studies are out there to show that writing at least 15 minutes a day, up to 4 days a week, can lower blood pressure, increase working memory. So just to have a journal, you wake up in the morning, or even sometimes you may have an angst or something taking place on in your mind. Just write it down and just allow it to park in the book or the paper that you write on. Because sometimes when we have issues and we have no one to speak to, it's all in our bodies. So we need to have a place where we can purge it, and purging it on paper, it's also a good way to actually free up the mind, free up the space so you can think better, to open up your creative state so you can think, do better things, and just live the life that you deserve. So writing at least 15 minutes per day is highly beneficial.
And the writing 15 minutes per day, people are so good at sharing this little tip, which is a big tip, right? Writing 15 minutes a day. It's like that little thing that makes a big difference. Just so you know what John does for a living. He actually takes people's trauma and he helps them write books about it so they can free themselves from the trauma. Am I saying this correctly?
Yes, some people want to write books, some people just want to write it and just put it away privately. But I take people's angst and turn it into a story, to storify it. So it goes with the presupposition of NLP that we all have the resources to affect change. So the simple act of pen and paper, I have them work through their trauma. And one of the things is that I help them to find insight just through storytelling, because it's the insight that you get that helps you to move ahead. So that's what I do.
And guys, that gift, going back to like, I journaled so much, and then going back to what Jasmine was saying, like, she can give you the comfortable clothes and the idea to strategize and the self-care and like the journal. I mean, she'll tell you where to buy that for cheap. You're like, the journal matters. Get something that excites you.
Something that's nice, something that is meaningful, right? Makes you want to write.
You deserve it. You totally deserve it. And John, I'm so glad he offers coaching sessions. He edits things, like, he's amazing. And I just wanted to make sure it's out there, because while this is a show that Jasmine and I originally created, this is about community. The more people that get involved, the more lives we can save. You're writing, you'll get your words out. 1 out of every 4 women and 1 out of every 9 men have been impacted in some way in the arena of domestic violence. And there could just be stress at work. And Peter wants to add something. Go for it.
I want to level a challenge at Jasmine and John, right? And when I said I'm glad there's people that are addressing this, and I said I'm not one of those, and this is one of the reasons why. And I find power in this. I don't think this is negative. So if you can hear through the negative, I actually think this is positive. I don't think anybody deserves anything. I don't like this narrative of the life you deserve. You are literally, and yes, I have a relationship with the divine that is mine and mine alone, but you are an insignificant speck of carbon that will be gone before you even know it. This world will not remember you if you choose that to be the case. However, what you do have, which I think is more powerful than a deserve, which I think is a word that has become very fashionable in the last 10 years, is you have the unlimited potential to be anybody you choose to be, and to be as happy as you choose to be or as sad as you choose to be. Now, I will accept that there are some people with clinical depression, but I would argue, debate, that percentile is actually as big as we think it is. I think there is a small, slim percentage of people that have a clinical issue, and for them, my heart goes out. And I think there's another group of people that are sitting in a space of, I deserve this, I deserve that, I deserve this. No, you don't. You will deserve whatever you choose to take from this world. Do it in the most loving, gentle, kind, welcoming, open way that respects every other human being. But sit in a space of, I'm going to make my day tomorrow what I want it to be. Sit in a space of, I deserve this. Because if you sit and say, I deserve this, nothing happens. Nothing. In my experience, I've sat with people that say, I deserve better, I deserve this car. No, you don't. No, you don't. You either made it happen or you didn't. And that doesn't have to be like Alpha's use. That can be through all the things we're talking about. but I think that people need to take personal responsibility for themselves. And if you, to me, that isn't negative. It's actually amazing and beautiful, because then when you see people succeed, you go, wow. And when you see people not succeed and you can persuade them that they can make that happen, then, and you can unlock that, it then becomes empowering. So that's my challenge. Is this word deserve, do you mean it? If so, cool. Or is it just becoming a kind of narrative that we're repeating and repeating and repeating and repeating, that we actually have never challenged to see if we actually think it's true?
That's an interesting challenge. And and thank you. I don't know if that's either one of you want to speak to that. We've got a few people, maybe Jasmine wants to, if they also want to share about themselves or anything they want to add. And Jasmine, you maybe have something else you want to share. So I'm going to go back to you, because we kind of got a little, we were here and I was like, let's include some audience. And I know that there was more you wanted to share. So what are your thoughts now?
I really genuinely love all the feedback. I think it's really great. And Peter, definitely what you're talking about, that challenge of making sure you have that choice, right? Understanding that everything you do in life is a choice, I think is key, and it's important. And I choose always to make sure that I'm okay, because if I'm not okay, I can't help anyone in this world. As a special education teacher, that is something that I've realized that I needed to do earlier on, when I was giving up lunches, giving up preps, and working until 8 o'clock at night. In the end, the next morning, you're exhausted. How can I teach special needs children if I'm exhausted, right? So making sure you take care of yourself is key. And for me, it's a choice, and choosing to be positive, choosing to do things that's going to make me happy is going to bring, in my opinion, positivity to my world and to everyone around me.
I love that. I call it, by the way, the lifeguard theory. The lifeguard will always make sure they're not drowning. And if somebody's thrashing around, a lifeguard is actually taught to literally push them away, because that lifeguard's job is to save 1,000 people, not that one person. And
wow.
It's a lifeguard theory. You got to look after yourself first and foremost, otherwise you can't do anything else for anybody else.
Exactly.
Yeah, and that's this got co-created like with Jasmine, and then thinking about, if I have this mission to save 1 million like homes, right? I can't do it myself. And she keeps reminding me of self-care. Like, is like
Stop.
Like, what are you doing? Sorry. Go take care of your Wi-Fi, hide your face if it doesn't work. Here we are. Oh, look, it's my dad. Say hi to my dad. Hi, Daddy. Hi, Dad. Okay, I don't know what's going on with my Wi-Fi, but hopefully you can hear me. So with Tiffany, I know you should. John, did you have anything else you wanted to add in response to that comment? Or are you good for now? And maybe people can schedule some time with you offline. If he's good for now, he's on mute though.
Oh, yes, I'm good for now.
Okay, cool.
Well,
amazing.
just to inform people.
Is another distinction. Sure, that's absolutely fine. It's just when we're using language, is it appropriate for that one particular person, whatever language they're using, to move them in the direction subjectively where they want to go? So that's where the use of language is important for that particular person that you are working with, even for yourself as well. So that's a good distinction that Peter made with the word deserve. So that's perfectly fine. It's another point of view.
Yeah. Thank you, John. Thank you, Peter. So just to remind people, this is something that Eric and I have been talking about. We co-created it because we wanted women to support women to empower women. So if anything that you hear on this video, either now or on the replay or on our YouTube channel, share this video and this show to family, friends, and neighbors, either text, email, or social media. If they find value in it, share your gift. If you have something to offer to add value to this community, I think both Eric and I definitely want to hear from you. Reach out to us, because we want you on the show. We want you to share, just like, Tiffany, Peter, and John did. Share your story. If you or someone has been doing various things for self-care, let us know so we can share it with people, right? I told you things that I do, things that people around me do, but doesn't mean that's the end all be all, right? So we really genuinely want to make a difference. So let's share that with everyone. Share your questions or any kind of resources. We have plenty of resources. I know probably Tiffany, Michelle, myself, we have a lot of resources in regards to self-care that we can get people information for. Share your questions. If you have any questions or any concerns or anything, let us know. And if you have anyone that, is looking to, buy, rent, sell a home and needs a realtor, we have Erica Rose Siegel here, who's our grateful realtor. And she's someone that I hold dear and near to my heart because she's definitely a workaholic in the right way. Let me say in the right way. Okay. And, if you have any ideas, if you want to share anything, please, 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 I applaud all of you to just share with us so that we can have different shows that will cater to the needs and wants of our viewers and we genuinely want people to be a part of this community, because I think there's a lot of things we have to talk about and they're great, right? And if you have anything, if you want to have like a free watcher wallet analysis and you want to learn how to save tons of money, you can call, text, or privately message me. My number is 845-527-8411. You can also find me on Instagram. It's Living the Jazzy Life, and on Facebook, or even my email, jazzyan4@gmail.com.
And yes, Jasmine certainly is living the jazzy life. I look at her and I just can't help but smile. And and I also I know you had mentioned, like, we started with women empowering women. We're back with Fiona. So oh boy, hold on, baby doll. We're still live. I know, understand. Thank you. So stay still. So, but the greatest thing that I noticed that I'm so grateful for is the men that are supporting the women to be empowered. That means a lot to me, given where I came from, and Jasmine's family came from something similar. And so we actually, we both shared our story on previous episodes, and we dropped the YouTube link in the chat of the 11 shows we've had so far. So if you want to hear more about Jasmine's story, my story, and not that, I'm always writing a new story. Like, that was just like parts of the story, right? You're welcome to watch, like, share, and instead of maybe watching an episode of, some talk show, you can feel free to watch us, because this is real, raw insights about what's happening in people's homes. And we are eternally grateful for every single one of you being here. And really, thank you, Jasmine. Thank you, everyone who's contributed live, or who's private message, public message, or is already thinking of, reaching out. Thank you, Fiona, for being so restful. And, my name is Erica Rose Siegel, and we usually go about 30-35 minutes. We went a little over, so I just want to acknowledge the time and let people know we're here. We're just going to kind of continue the convo offline, and this is not forever that we're hanging out. This is just for now. So we're going to see you next Sunday at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time for Celebrate Your Success Sundays series, where we share all the things you don't know that you need to know about shopping and real estate. And next week's topic is going to be one that's extremely powerful. Last week, I talked about the nightmare of the relationship I was in, and how to identify some of the really challenging and awful signs of being in a domestic violence relationship. And next week, we are talking about how to break free. And we'll put it in the words of Tony Robbins, how to make your move. And this is your grateful realtor thanking you for making your move here with us tonight. And until next time, we will see you folks soon.
Thank you all for coming.
And hold on.